Question: how is your financial wellness? It is very interesting that if you don't take care of your financial wellness, it will affect the other areas of your life, your mental wellness, your physical wellness, your psychological wellness. It is interesting how money interconnects all these things. And for that reason, today I have a very special guest to discuss about your financial wellness. We will look at the very basic essentials. Where do you start? Then please also note, it's not about how much money you earn. You might be earning a lot or very little. It doesn't matter. It is how you manage it. So we'll look at that, and we'll also talk about debt management. How do you balance between debt and savings? All this with my special guest. Without further ado, let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another great session. Today we are talking everything to do with money, and with me I have a very special guest who is going to help me discuss about financial wellness. This 101, yeah? What are the essentials? Welcome to the show, Pauline. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm also very fine. Pauline is a trader. She wears so many hats. She does several types of trading. I know her for, yes, the financial wellness side. There is also customer care. So generally, maybe you can take a minute to introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what is it that you do.
All right, thank you very much, and good evening to every one of us. As it has been said, my name is Pauline Kariuki, and I am many things. I wear many hats. One, I am a professional in business scope and personal development. I am a trainer. I train organizations, people in organizations on aspects of business and customer service, leadership, and the scope of even personal finance to help employees be better money managers, so that as you earn your money, you are able to manage it in a way that is healthy and it is helpful for you. I am also a coach, and I am also a consultant.
Great to have you. You're such a resourceful person. And today, as I had shared, we'll be talking about financial wellness. Maybe we can start with the very basic foundations, yeah? So the first thing I would want, maybe you can share with us, what are some of the key elements of a strong financial foundation that everyone should be thinking about to establish?
Very well. And I think before even we look at the foundations, we need to understand what is financial wellness. And the financial wellness is a build-up. I would look at it as a build-up. Why? Because you need first to understand the roadmap to be able to achieve the wellness. So it starts with financial literacy.
Yes.
So first, by understanding what is this knowledge, what is this understanding that you need to have in order to make informed financial decisions. So that is the foundation. That is where you begin. Now, once you're able to build yourself with the knowledge and the capacity and the understanding, then we use that to increase our capacity and to increase our ability to be able to manage the finances. And with that, we get financial independence, we get financial freedom, and that comes in the wellness, such that you move away from those financial trappings of making bad decisions because you are not able to have the right knowledge. And in all that, you are building your own personal development in relation to finances. Now, we go into the foundations. What are these key elements or key foundations that we all need to adopt? We all need to have in order to be good in our finances. Number one, we need to acknowledge what I've already talked about, what is financial planning, and have the right mindset. For me, the foundation is the mindset. Do you have the right mindset about money? How is it like? Is it healthy? Is it unhealthy? And what brings about either the understanding of whether you have a healthy or unhealthy mindset? Many things come into play, sometimes because of the socialization, the environments that we grew up in, and the ones that we grow up in, even in our adulthood, the people interact with, the things that you consume form the basis of how we have the right mindset. Now, once you have the right mindset, now we go into the personal financial planning. Now, that is all about goal setting. And we need to ask ourselves, as you set your goals, what does success look like to you? Because it's by understanding how success looks like to you, then you're able to align that with your financial goals. And I like asking, as you're looking at financial goal setting, what is your enough? How does your enough look like? It's all different for different people. And that's why, even as we are setting the goals, it varies, because my enough can be, once I have a fat bank account, my kids have education, or I have a roof under my head, I am okay with that. But that can look different for somebody else. And understanding your enough helps you craft the proper goals in accordance to these objectives. Then we move from there and ask yourself, then what are these other elements? You need to understand your earnings. So what are your sources of earning? Income. We all either go to work or we're in businesses so that you earn some money. So your sources of income, then how do you budget for what you're earning? How do you save? How do you plan? And in the saving comes even planning for your retirement, and it has to start immediately you start working. Retirement doesn't necessarily come towards the end. It comes immediately you start earning. Then you keep building up that fund of the retirement until that time when the retirement comes. And then you also need to understand how do you, when you have an estate, when you build wealth, then you create an estate, how do you manage that? So it is a progression.
I think quite a ton that you have already mentioned there. And that reminds me, I think I was watching a video today that was talking about everybody has a number. Yeah, even in business or in employment, you're like, what is the number? Once you hit, then you can say you're out of here. So having a goal, as in some working towards something. And there's, I think it was a quote from a movie when somebody was asked, "What was your number? What is your number?" And they say more. And you realize again that is a race that you can't win, because you always want more and want more and want more. Thank you very much for that. Let's go to the next thing. I know budgeting is a very crucial part when it comes to managing personal finances and setting yourself to the path to financial wellness. Yeah. So I want to know from you, how can an individual create a budget so that they can be able to align that with their maybe personal goals and priorities? And those people who feel like a budget is not important, what maybe would you mention or say to them so that they can start considering budgeting?
Very interesting. Budgeting is a funny issue, because like we are saying, matters money are quite emotive, and the way we interpret them, and how we interpret the reality of money and money management is all unique for each individual. Why? Because we all have different goals, we have unique needs, we have unique sources of income and income levels and all that. Now to budgeting. Budgeting is very important. It is a must do and a must have for all of us. Why? It is from there that you're able to know how does your financial health look like. So that is one of the tools that we use to do, like a triage of your own financial health, is where you look at what is coming in from all my sources of income. So if salary is your only income, then you're able to match, your expenses should match the salary that is coming in. Now, if you have multiple sources of income, all those multiple need to be captured. And all the expenses that come into that need to be captured. Why is that important? It helps us to track our financial journey in order to achieve our financial goals that we've set for ourselves. And it is important to note that when you're setting your financial goal, they need to be smart. Some people say, I want to earn more money, I want to save a million by the end of the year. But that's very vague. How do you save $1 million within a year? So with a budget, you're able to help yourself begin that journey in being able to save that 1 million in a smart way, because you'll be very specific. I want this 1 million, but can you be able to save this 1 million when you check your sources of income and when you check your levels of expenses? And we say that your expenses should never exceed your income. So live within your means. And again, we go back to what we said. What is your enough? And how does your enough look like? Because that is what forms this foundation of establishing how you set out your budget. But a budget is a must do and a must have. We can do it in many ways. You can have a simple Excel. So every time you spend, key it in there. But I know there are also apps in the market that you can be able to use in order to create budgets. But yes, it is a must. Then categorize. As you're doing your expenses, categorize these expenses. Which are these expenses that are a must have? Like the fixed expenses. Now, on the variables, you can be able to play around with your variables. Although even in the fixed, depending on how you are seeing, how you're performing in your financial health, you can alter something so that you're able to live within your means. If you realize that your rent or especially the rent is taking up a lot of your money, then you can cut that, adjust. In the meantime, look for ways that you can be able to grow your income so that you're able to fit in your enough, but never live beyond your means.
I really like that. I must say, a while back, I think last month, I attended a men's conference in our church, and they were talking about things to do with finances, family, and all that. So I attended this specific session about finances, and they were talking about money, budgeting. And then I remembered the last time I did, I think a budget was quite a while back, either 2013 or 2015. But I know my expenses or my life has changed because of so many other things. And I said, I really need to get back to that idea. But then they also suggested there's an app where you can actually monitor how much money you're spending. So unlike budgeting, where I know there's this quote, a budget actually tells your money where to go rather than at the end of the month asking yourself, where did my money go? But so monitoring, when I just did monitoring the last month, whereby I was checking out, I was writing every time I spent a shilling, a coin, I would write it down. And it gave me an idea of actually where I'm spending my money and where it has been going. And I think it is now prudent now, instead of just waiting for me to spend, I can actually decide where does this money go to. So quite informative, and I think a budget is quite important. And I did, even instead of having an Excel, I actually had a notebook where I was recording everything where I was spending.
We say that you need to be the master of your money, because if you don't master your money, then you become a slave of it. The money will be mastering you, and you're the one to be the slave of the money.
The next thing I want us to discuss is about debt. And how do you manage debt? What is your take when it comes to debt? I would want to know, many people maybe are struggling with how they can be able to manage debt. What is your advice in terms of financial management and
debt? Debt is good and debt can be bad. It depends on how you look at it and how you utilize debt. So there's good debt. So good debt is the one that can help you make an investment that will give you an extra income. So for example, you may take a debt to buy maybe stocks, like in the stock market, or to buy a T-bill, treasury bill, or you can buy a bond. At the end of the day, that debt is helping you grow your income stream. You can also take debt to be able to go back to school if it is, that is what you're looking at as your projection, to help you grow in your skills and build your skills to be a better person, to either get a better job or even to monetize a skill. Then you can take a debt to be able to capacity build yourself, and you're able to increase your income. Now, there's bad debt. Bad debt is the one that you use to consume. We are a consumer society. And we naturally, as human beings, we want to, I think consuming is what drives us more than saving. So anytime you find yourself that you're taking debt, even to meet your daily needs, like the food or your living expenses, or to maintain a lifestyle, there's a red flag into it. So that is bad debt. So you need to be clear that yes, debt is good, it can help you be better financially, but also debt can be very dangerous when it is not managed very well. So what do we need to be able to manage ourselves in debt? Number one is to realize that debt is not a death sentence. So if you're already struggling or feel like you're drowning, or you feel like you're choking in debt, just realize it is not a death sentence. There are ways that we can be able to get out of that debt. So what is that? Which are the ways that we can be able to get out of this? You need to compound all your debts. What do I mean? Write down all the debts that you owe anyone, whether it's a bank, whether it's the circles, whether it is your friends, whether it is your family. Wherever you have a debt, whether it is the mobile loans, write them down. How does that help you? It helps you give you a mental perspective and a clear perspective on where you are at. So you become very real with yourself on your debt portfolio. Now, once you're able to document where you to put down all your debts, then come up with a strategy to pay up. Now, which are the strategies that you can come up with? There are two ways. You can either decide, I'm going to start paying debts, the small debts, and you eliminate them. Then you're able to free some cash and be able to do something else with that cash. Or you can look at the debts that have very high interest rates. I know, like the mobile loans, the Shylocks, those ones have very high interest rates, and think of how can I consolidate all these into a more secured loan. Yes, you'll pay it in a longer period, but it is gonna give you a peace of mind, and you're able to, to lessen that interest rate. So look at those debt payment options that you can have. Then after that, you can sometimes you can even talk to the people that you owe and try and negotiate. How easy is that? It may not be very easy, but it is a way you can try. Then we go back to what we were talking about before. Make a budget. Now, making a budget, like we are saying, will help you keep you in check and know where do I need to adjust. And once you adjust that, you stop digging deeper so that you can stop bleeding. Because what that does, it has a way of making you bleed every now and then. And this is a financial bleeding that I'm talking about. Now, with a budget, you are able to consolidate and understand these are the leaks that I have, and from these leaks, this is what I can stop the leaks with, and then stop taking more debt. Don't take any more debt so that you stop that bleeding, and then look for ways to be able to increase more income out of it. And you can always look out for help. I keep saying, like I'm saying, it's not a death sentence. Talk to someone, look for an expert, look for a coach like what we do, look for a friend that you can talk to and help you navigate through that debt process. But yes, it is doable, it's achievable, and it is possible for you to get out of debt when you use the right strategies and the right mindset for it.
Yeah, I think that is quite encouraging. That is not a death sentence. You can always get out of it. But now, if someone is already in debt, they have plans to be able to get out of debt. How would you advise in terms of how do you balance the idea of saving, investing, and at the same time managing or dealing with debt?
Very interesting, because what you're saying that at the end of the day, for you to be financially independent, for you to be secure, and for you to have that independence is that we need more money in our pocket than what is going out. So yes, how we can be able to still invest, and as you're trying to get out of debt, is going back to what you're saying, the debt consolidation plan. So once you're able to consolidate this debt and put it in this budget that you have already created, and you look for, for other ways to be able to earn more income, and you stop, it's like a loop, and you stop the bleeding, and that means you stop taking more debt, then you're able to, one, your mind clears up. And when your mind is more clearer, you are able to think deeper, and you're able to know how else. Now you can even opt to get another job if that is possible, so that you grow in your wallet share. You can look to diversify in different asset classes. And when I mean asset classes, is to ask yourself, if the investment I am making is only on one line and it is a long-term investment, how can I break this investment and maybe spread it out so that you also reduce on that risk? And what does that mean? It means that you will have more multiple channels of making money, and with more money, then you'll be able to take a portion out of it. You can even say like 10% from the extra that you're earning and put it into debt. So split the 10% or the 10 or 20%. This one goes into this investment, and now this one goes into repaying those debts. So clarity of mind first, that plan, the budget, and being able to increase your income through different ways. The passive income streams, you can monetize a skill. I keep encouraging people that there are many ways that we can be able to grow ourselves financially. If you're good at talking to people, by all means, how can you monetize that? If you can be able to help people, like what you are saying, in managing their debt, if you have that skill, by all means, if you can help people do proper record keeping, go and monetize that and be able to help yourself. Know that you have so much time in our hands that we can be able to utilize to grow ourselves financially.
That is very correct. Thank you very much. I think you brought the point home. And I like the fact that you start with clarity of mind, because if you are not well, that is where financial wellness, there's also mental well-being across. About the idea of passive income, and what nowadays social media, everything is, they're talking about passive income, and all that.
It looks different for everyone when it comes to passive income, but yes, I do recommend the passive income, adopting the passive income, but with wisdom. Why do I say with wisdom? You need to understand yourselves first. Who are you? What are your passions? And what are you passionate about? What is your purpose? And align what you're doing on your passive income, what we call the side hustles, in relation to your passion, and also to the things that drive you, and what gives you your purpose. Not to do everything because everybody else is doing it. Has to align with you. And why is that important? For it to be sustainable.
Yes. Yeah, and maybe just what I really doubt if there's 100% passive income. I have not yet come across that. And when it comes again to social media, just to relate the question to social media, there's a lot of gimmicks and marketing that happens on social media. And sometimes they don't tell you the full truth. Someone will say, I've been earning this on maybe an online project or online business and all that. But you realize maybe it's just marketing, and I've not yet seen 100% passive income. You still need to monitor. You still need to know what the money is doing. You need to have some checks and balances. Probably some are more active than others, but when the deal is too good, I also want you to think twice. Especially when it comes to money and social media. Put this money and you will get this much. I don't know what percentage. There have been several scams and pyramid schemes that have come and gone, because they really pull people in with the idea that you do nothing. Just put this money and it doubles or you get a certain amount of interest. As we wrap it up, what is your general or practical tips you would give in general to anyone who really wants to get on board in their financial wellness? I know you've already talked about budgeting, but any other thing that you'd want to add before we get also to know how people can get in touch with you if they want more help?
There's a saying that I like that says, being broke is hard. Becoming rich is hard. Choose your hard. Which is your hard? Yes, the broke hard is that when you do not have enough in terms of understanding what is your enough and working towards your enough, then you are likely to get into financial distress. And with the financial distress, then it lowers the quality of your life. So for you not to get into that broke hard, then one of the things, like you have said, is about budgeting, and again understanding how to increase your income levels, how to invest. There are very many ways that we can invest out there. There are different ways that we can be able to invest, whether it is buying the stocks, whether it is investing in the real estate, whether it is money market funds. Just know what works for you. And this is where we come in to be able to guide people on the best investment strategies in relation to your investment objectives, your risk appetite, all that. It's a whole way of looking into the person and understanding their mindset about money and what they are looking to achieve in terms of their financial goals, and helping you craft that. And again, I keep encouraging people, read about finances. There are many resources out there that can help you be a better manager. Now, you can choose to be rich hard. So rich hard comes in because growing wealth is a process, is a journey. It is not a one-day thing. It is not a pyramid. It is not, all those things like you have said that have been put out there in the social media. For you to be able to build wealth, it takes time, it takes commitment, it takes discipline, and it takes persistence. So choose your hard, whether it's the broke hard or the rich hard. And remember that money cannot buy us happiness, but it is a tool that facilitates us to have quality life. And whatever we are earning, it really doesn't matter from where I sit. It is not the salary that you put in your pocket or in your bank account at the end of the month. It is how you spend and grow that money and build your wealth and building a legacy out of your wealth.
Thank you. I think that went very well. Point home. It is not how much you earn, it is how you spend it and how much you remain with after you have spent it. Yeah. How can someone get in touch with you? Or what are some of the programs that you have that maybe one of our listeners who feel they want to get in touch with you, they want to take up maybe more about financial wellness, maybe a program or any other thing? How do they get in touch with you?
All right. You can get in touch with me. I will share with you my telephone contact.
07
22
2
67
67
78
78
53
53
or 733
733
375
375
966.
966.
You can also drop me an email on info.
So there we go. Allow me to write that one now for the email. That will be info
at corporatesolutionske.com. Yes. I'm available for a call, a discovery call. Then we can go through your understanding what your financial goals look like, then help you in your personal finance journey.
Thank you
You
very
can
much.
also,
I really appreciate. Yeah. Or
yes,
you wanted to add something else?
you can also visit our website at www.corporatesolutionske.com.
Thank you very much. It has been a great session. I'm sure people have learned. We will continue with this conversation. Best, I know people will continue watching this, and any question that comes, of course, I'll be able to share with you. And I believe that someone who needs help, as you say, there's nothing wrong asking for help. If you're struggling, ask for help. And Pauline, I'm sure she's here to be able to guide you. Thank you very much. And until next time, everyone, we are out.